Okay, welcome back. So you should have done the do now, and we're going to go over today's agenda and the objectives. First off, after doing the do now, you're going to learn how to properly highlight answers in a document and submit them on Canvas assignments. Then we'll have a little practice for you, and then just a wrap up, a preview of what we are going to be doing the following week. Today's objective is I can highlight and submit work properly, and how you know you're successful will be when you can highlight parts of a sentence, change the color of boxes, change font colors, and upload a document to Canvas. So how did you do? I want you to bring up another tab and bring up that Do Now document that we had you complete. And this is what it should look like, okay? So the first one said highlight this entire sentence in pink. If only some words were pink, that's not what we want. It should look exactly like this, the whole thing in pink. Question 2 says change at least 3 words in this sentence to a different color font. When we're asking for a different color font for the word, that's how you change it. There's going to be some assignments that you're allowed to change the color font and make it as pretty as you want. And then sometimes it just needs to be the basic black, especially in formal writing. So changing the color font is important to know how to do. So I chose these 3 words. Your words might look a little different. It might be a different color, but this is what it should look like. Number 3 is the one that we found during remote learning in the springtime was pretty difficult for the students. And this is actually really easy. If we had multiple choice questions and they had to choose a box and change it a different color, usually they would just change the picture a different color, and that's not what we want. So your box for the Falcon should look something like this. It might not be green, but the whole entire box should be a different color. So if you did that, good job, and this lesson should be easy for you today. Question 4 was pretty simple. This whole box here was all black, and you could figure it out by changing the font color or by removing that black highlight. And if you did, this was the secret message. Great job, you figured out the secret message. So if you got that to come up, excellent job. And then finally, number 5, when we do write a formal piece of writing, it's important to know to change it to different sizes. If you have to bold, italicize words, the different font types, you need to know how to change those, because it can't be anything you want when you turn in those informative essays or those argumentative essays later on in the year. So are you able and do you know how to change those things? This is what your final sentence should actually look like. Okay, so it asked you to change this to 16 font size, and this is about what it should look like. The font type, I wanted you to change it to McLaren, and for some of you it might have not been in your font type, but you can add these different fonts. So if you were able to do that, excellent job. I wanted you to bold the first word, and this is what it should look like. It should look a little bit thicker than some of the other words. The 4th word, italicized, you'll notice the word correctly is a little bit slanted. That's what italicized means. I wanted you to change the entire font color to blue, so every word in that sentence should have been blue. And then finally, highlight the last word in yellow. This is just kind of review from questions 1 and 2. So does your final sentence look like that? If it does, again, great job. This lesson is going to be super simple for you. So if you're still stuck and you're like, mine didn't look like that, how can you highlight and change color of fonts if we're required to do so? Clicking here makes the YouTube channel or the YouTube video kind of buffer, so I'm going to bring it up on a different one here. Wondering how we were able to change the colors or highlight the box in a certain color. I'm going to show you how to do that. This toolbox all along here is going to be a great resource to use when we highlight or if we're asking for a specific answer on your document. So you might have done this before. To highlight something, you take your cursor and highlight the whole thing, and then the highlighter is right here by the A, and you have all these different colors to choose from. Just make sure that you don't make it black, because obviously you won't be able to see it. But all these highlighter colors, the normal ones that we would have even in a box that you would use personally in class, okay? You can make it any color you want, and that's how you highlight. If you're changing the color of the font, you simply can just double click on the word. You can highlight it if you'd like. But the A changes the font. And even if you put your cursor over it, if you're unsure, it will say text color. Okay, it will say highlight color. But the A changes the font. So I can go here, and again, I have all these options. I can just change the different colors. Okay. This is one when we did remote learning, people had trouble with. And it says, find the box. You will see this right here. And it says, change the color of the entire box. Now, this is just like highlighting, except it's a different tool, and I'll show you that. But if you highlight the falcon, okay, and it doesn't highlight all the way, but if you even have that, you should be good. And if you go up here, okay, sometimes it will already be there, but this paint spill, okay, and look, it says background color. You're going to choose that and then change it. And it will change the entire box. So highlighting right here, changing the font, A, changing the color of the box, highlighting it all, and the paint spill. If something is highlighted and you don't want it to be, or maybe you want to hide it, you just highlight over like this, okay, and see how that highlighter changed to black. You want to go to none. So take that off of there, and it should go to none. And then finally, these last couple of things here, because when we go to type up papers, if there are very specific things that we need for you to do in your paper, you need to be able to follow those directions. So I gave you this sentence here, and it says to change the font size to 16. So what I do is I highlight the whole entire thing, come up to the font size, and again, it tells you font size, and you want to change it to 16. Now, it's not an option, but I am able to type it in, and that changes the size. Then, what you're going to do, font, you want to change it to McLaren, or whatever font we say. Normally, it's going to be Arial or Times New Roman, but I highlight it again, I come up here and choose from all these different fonts. So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to find McLaren, and there we have it. And then if we need you to bold or italicize, again, the whole sentence is highlighted. The B stands for bold, so it makes it a little bit thicker. Italicizing slants it, so you just hit the I. If I want to change the font, we've already done that up here. Remember, we highlight the word we want, and then change the color. And then highlight the last word of the sentence yellow. Guess I need to follow directions. And highlight the last word yellow. This is just a repeat of what I've told you. So highlighting the word, come up here, and then choose a color to highlight. Okay? And that is how you do it. Okay, so it's pretty simple. So what you're going to do now, I just want you to take a few minutes. I'm going to stop the video, and I want you to bring this back up, and I want you to make any changes. So if you were good on 1 and 2, but you didn't know how to do 3 properly, I want you to go back now and change it to what the directions tell you to do.